I'm here with Blake and Diane Rasner, Arkansas linebacker Ross Rasner's parents, and just thought it would be neat to talk to them about this season and the recruiting experience when Ross was being recruited. Just kind of talk about this season, guys. Just the experience of being able to go to every game and follow Ross and the Razorbacks. Just kind of talk about that, if you would.
This has been, the first season was wonderful, but this has even been better because you kind of got your feet under you and you know a little bit more what to expect. And Ross is made to play. He's played a little more, and we've gotten to know the families, and we really feel like this is just one big family, and we have just so enjoyed seeing the southeastern part of the United States, places that we would have probably never gotten to go and visit, and we have just had a fabulous time. Just feel so blessed to be part of the Razorback family.
Yeah, it's really been a dream season. You know, we started out hoping we could win that Alabama game. They put their heart and soul into that game, and then to lose that game, and then after that to come back and win the last 6 games and go on the road and beat some top 25 teams. I was telling Ross the other day what a dream come true this is, to play in the Sugar Bowl your second year, BCS Bowl, and see your name on ESPN. I was watching ESPN this morning and talking about the Sugar Bowl. We're going to see that for the next 2 or 3 days. It's got to be a great boost for recruitment.
Diane, you talked about the family atmosphere. Kind of hit on that, if you would.
Well, we have, with the help of Coach Mark Robinson, started a family website for the parents of the Razorback football players and their families, and it's kind of just a central hub for information about the players' schedules and hotels and just places to get their tickets and gate entrances, and just we're going to hopefully develop that as the years go on. But I think one of the neatest things is we have a list of all the information for the players, contact information for their parents, and it's really enabled the parents to get to know each other and not be able to just wave at someone at a game and go on your merry way, because we all sit together and it's just a really cohesive group, and I think it's really a wonderful experience to be able to share it with someone who's going through the same thing you are at the same time, and we really hope to keep developing that in the future.
Let's hit on the recruiting process. Obviously, it's something new to parents when their son is being recruited. What was some of the surprises to you guys?
Well, I was first of all, I never had any expectations about Ross being a Division I player until his junior year, and we sent a video out and we started getting contact. And I guess the most surprising thing to me is the amount of time that these assistant coaches put into recruiting a particular player. We probably got, I know we got a couple of handwritten notes a week from Coach Allen. He would make the permitted number of phone calls every week to Ross. He would come in every time he could to visit Ross. I think 4 or 5 times during the season. Even after Ross had committed, he kept coming in every week and staying in contact. So I think the most surprising thing is the amount of time that these coaches spend in the recruiting process.
And that continues on. Just to add to that, just a few months ago, we got a newspaper clipping from one of the coaches that had, he just took the time to cut it out of the paper and Ross's name had been mentioned and mail it to us with a handwritten note. So, it didn't stop once they signed him up. It continues on. They genuinely care about these young men and their futures, not just athletically, but just overall. And back when we were talking about the recruiting, we thought it was really interesting that once Ross got his offer from Arkansas, that gave him credibility, and the Division I offers just started coming in from everywhere, and we were just, thrilled, but we knew that there was no other place for him to go in Arkansas. But it was neat to have the legitimacy from that, having other offers, but Arkansas was, of course, our top choice from day one, and his too.
Well, you guys went on the official visit with Ross. Kind of talk about that. What really stood out to you about the whole weekend?
Well, that's kind of a dad's dream come true, really, more than the kid, I think. No, that was one of the most fun weekends that I've ever had, and it was so special the way they treat the kids and treat the parents, and we got to know a lot of the parents on that particular weekend, and we're still good friends.
We correspond with them, during the year, even when out of season. I remember particularly that Ross and Riddell Krim and Blake and myself were the only 4 on the bus going to a meeting with Coach Robinson, and we went in and sat with him, just the 4 of us. And Riddell, what a great guy he is, and he's really been a mentor to Ross. And we sat down, and Coach Robinson started just kind of giving us a little inside glimpse of what their team meetings would be like, and some films and stuff. And Blake, who lives and breathes football, looked at me and goes, "I have no idea what he's even talking about." So, needless to say, I was lost. But they work them hard, but boy, the results are wonderful, and we couldn't be happier.
We did the one-on-one interview with Coach Petrino. We came into his office, and he had a notebook probably an inch thick on Ross and Ross's transcript, and made a couple of comments about certain courses Ross was taking and how he could get credit if he changed the name on one of the courses, and just the amount of detail that these coaches have on these players and how much research they do. I think that may be one of the reasons that Coach Petrino's been so successful. I don't think he cares about 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. He looks at the kid and how he fits in with the program. And if you look at Arkansas's roster and the players that have done well, we don't have a lot of 5-star guys, but we're 10-2, and we're about to be 11-2. It's been a great year.
I remember Ross saying, actually, at the end of the season, Coach Petrino meets individually with each player, and so at the end of last year, we were so anxious to hear what he had to say with his meeting, and it really had very little to do with football. It was about his academics and what he was going to major in, and what his future plans were, and so it's such a he is so concerned with the all around person and not just the athletic part of it, and I think that speaks so much for why he has such a successful team. I mean, they're interested in the whole person.
All right, guys, most important question. What's the score Tuesday night?
Well, we're obviously going to put up a lot of points. I haven't thought about the score yet, but I'm going to say Arkansas 34.
That's the same number I was just thinking of.
Ohio State
21.
21. That sounds good to me. We're definitely going to win. Of course, Ohio State's a 3-point favorite, which I don't quite understand because we're in the SEC. Of course, we've already been dominating the Big Ten in these bowl games, so it's definitely going to be an Arkansas victory.
Woo Pete Suey.